There, on the Ropers' patio, was Helen, cradling the puppy. Stanley was standing next to her, looking bewildered. "Stanley, you remembered," Helen cried. "Our anniversary. A puppy. Oh, it's the most darling thing you've ever done." Stanley looked at the puppy, then at the balcony where Jack, Jana, and Chrissy were peeking down. He saw the look of sheer desperation on their faces, and then he looked at the genuine joy on his wife's face. For the first time in his recorded history, Stanley Roper chose the path of least resistance. "Yeah," Stanley grunted, puffing out his chest. "Happy anniversary, Helen. I left it on the doorstep to surprise you." Upstairs, the three roommates collapsed in a heap of relief. "I can't believe it," Jana gasped. "The Ropers have the dog, and they think it was a gift, and we have visiting rights." Chrissy cheered. Jack leaned back against the railing, the warm California breeze ruffling his hair. They had survived another week. They had kept their secret, saved a dog, and managed to stay one step ahead of the man downstairs. Chapter 9, The Upholstery Rebellion. "Pull, Jack, pull like your dinner depends on it," Jana commanded, her face flushed with the exertion of trying to hold back a stubborn metal spring. "I am pulling." Jack grunted, his feet braced against the frame of their long-suffering sofa. "My dinner does depend on it. If I don't fix this, I won't have a place to sit and eat the souffle that's currently deflating in the kitchen." It was a Saturday morning, the kind where most of Santa Monica was out surfing or enjoying a leisurely brunch in apartment 201. However, it was the start of renovation weekend. The couch was their first victim. It had reached a level of decrepitude that made it look less like a piece of furniture and more like a collection of angry metal wires held together by hope and a few scraps of beige fabric. "Now we have to pull it really tight," Johnny explained, gesturing toward the webbing, "or else it won't hold the springs. Give it a heave, Chrissy." Chrissy joined the effort, grabbing a handful of fabric. "Heave, is that like a sneeze or a cough?" "It's a pull, Chrissy. Just pull," Jack yelled. Suddenly, the tension snapped. The trio collapsed in a tangled heap on the floor, legs and arms intertwined with springs and stray stuffing. "Well," Jack sighed from the bottom of the pile, "at least we're closer to the ground now. It's a very modern look." "Jack, you were supposed to be here an hour ago," Jana said, extricating herself from the wreckage. "Where have you been? You said you were just going for a quick bike ride." Jack sat up, a dreamy look entering his eyes. "I was on my way back, I swear. But then I saw it, a bicycle, in front of me, with a girl on it." Jana sighed. "Of course, the siren call of the pedal pusher." "No, you don't understand," Jack insisted, standing up and brushing off his pants. Her seat was jiggling all over the place. It was a safety hazard. I had to follow her. I had to make sure she didn't suffer a structural failure. "So you fixed her seat?" Chrissy asked. "Naturally," Jack replied, puffing out his chest. "I am a protector of the people. A knight of the bicycle pump. You're a man who will follow anything with a jiggle," Johnny corrected. "Now, get behind this couch and help us fix it. Are you girls lucky you've got a man around this house? Watch and learn." Jack grabbed a handful of upholstery tacks and, in a display of what he considered professional expertise, shoved them all into his mouth. "How can you talk clearly with all those tacks in your mouth?" Chrissy asked, fascinated. Jack tried to reply, but all that came out was a series of muffled metallic clinks. He looked like a human pincushion with a culinary degree. Chapter 10: The Pub and the Predator. By the evening, the rebellion had failed. The couch was still a disaster, and the new wallpaper they had attempted to hang looked like it had been applied by a blindfolded octopus during an earthquake. "I picked the pub," Jack announced, dropping the paste brush. "Let's go." Moving out, the trio headed down to their local watering hole, a place where the beer was cold and the atmosphere was generally safe until tonight. As they settled into a booth, a shadow fell over their table. It was a man who looked like he had been assembled from several different, larger men. He was wearing a shirt that was clearly losing its battle against his biceps, and his expression was one of bored aggression. "Hi, honey," the giant said, leaning over the table and looking directly at Johnny. "Buy you a drink?" Johnny stiffened. "No, thanks. I'm with my friends." The giant looked at Jack, then back at Johnny. This is a friend. He looks like something you'd find on a key ring." Jack felt the eyes of the entire pub on him. He knew he should stand up. He knew he should defend Jeanette's honor. But he also knew that the giant's fist was approximately the size of a Thanksgiving turkey. "Now, see here," Jack started, his voice a few octaves higher than usual. "I think I should warn you, and I think I should warn you," the giant growled, leaning in until Jack could smell the stale cigar smoke on his breath. "The last guy who warned me about something got all his teeth knocked out." Jack looked at the man's massive hands, then back at his own slender fingers, which were better suited for whisking eggs than punching bullies. "Oh, well, my father paid a fortune for my braces. I wouldn't want to waste his investment." He sat back down, his face burning. The giant laughed, a sound like a landslide, and walked away. "You were fantastic, Jack," Jana said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "You stood up to him, and then you sat down again. Very brave." "I didn't want to cause a scene," Jack whispered. "Besides, violence is uncivilized. I was being diplomatic." "Diplomatic is one word for it," Chrissy added. "Yellow is another. Like a nice, bright lemon." Chapter 11: The Steel Plate Gambit. The next morning, Jack was a shell of a man. He sat at the kitchen table, staring into his coffee as if searching for his missing dignity. "I'm a coward," he moaned. "I've got chicken in my blood. Even the kids at school could spot it. Fat Kenny Jensen used to take my lunch money every day. Oh, come on, Jack, Jana said, feeling a pang of sympathy. He was huge. What were you supposed to do?